Today we are honoured to have our guest speaker with us, Paulding County Sheriff Gary Gulledge. He has some great things to tell us about what they're doing in the county to keep us all safe, and I'm going to turn the meeting over to Gary, and he's going to have some question and answer time after. Please join me in welcoming.
I hate microphones. I'm a big mouth anyway. Can everybody hear me okay? I hate walking around like this. I keep talking. I know a lot of people in the room. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Gary Gulledge. I'm the Sheriff of Paulding County. Been here about 3 years. Still trying to get my feet on the ground. That's why I was telling somebody earlier, I thought I could do something real fast. And I found out real quick, things like my office don't move and hurt. We've got a lot going on. The economy is affecting us just like it is you. I know a lot of y'all I've talked to are in the real estate market. A lot of you lives in subdivisions. The best thing we've got in the subdivision is you. Keep an eye out for what's going on and what's not normal. If you see something in your neighborhood that's not normal, please call us. We're having a lot of copper thefts where they're going, as I told the lady here a while ago, I said, as soon as the curtains come down, the copper thieves come in the basement. You know, they're stealing the plumbing pipes out of them. They're stealing the air conditioner units out of them. We went through a spell a couple of months ago that was going to churches and stealing the air conditioning units from churches. These people have no morals, no dignity. They're not afraid to steal from God. It worries me. I've got enough to pay for it when I stand in front of them, but stealing from them is not going to be one of them. These people don't care. I've been with the Paulding County Sheriff's Office since 1990. I was going to tell you, do we have anybody here that's lifelong residents? I know we got a couple. A lot of people move here from other places. I know some of them have funny accents. I picked on her a while ago. I tell them, we don't have funny accents around here, but people move here bringing them with them. I talked to the Republican Party a couple of months ago, and I told myself I'm going to come in and talk about y'all's favorite president. I'm going to talk about change. This place has changed a lot since I went to work here. I started off working in a jail as a jailer, just opening doors and babysitting inmates. Done that for a little while, and I'm standing up on my hall doing my job, and the boss walks back here and he says, "You ever thought about being a deputy?" I said, "I don't know." He said, "Well, do you or don't you?" I said, "Sounds good to me." So out on the road I went out and met the supervisor the next morning. I got in a marked patrol car. They give me a uniform. He said, "We got a call, we got to go answer it." So what kind of call is it? He told me, and I thought, give me the numbers, and I thought, I don't know any of these numbers. You go down the subdivider, you go through and you find the PIN codes, and it was a call. I said, "Do you want me to go fast or do you want me to go slow?" He said, "Whatever you want to do." So we go answer the call, and it was a Proud. Nothing to it. He says, "You're not an idiot, go back to the office." So I go back to the office, and he hands me a set of car keys. He said, "That's your car, go learn your way around the county. Be careful and try not to stop anybody." Back in those days, I think there was 2 street signs in this county. So if you went from around here, the directions you got was go by Ed Straighthorn's house, down to the next road, hang a right, go to the big old dead tree that ain't there anymore, or go past Kudzu Hill. So if you went from around here, you couldn't find your way around. And I told the guy, I said, "I already know my way around." He said, "Well, you got it maybe." And he says, "You got half of it beat." First car I stopped happened to be stolen. Never dawned on me. Of course, I'd get on the radio and I'm thinking, I put down the radio, I put down the sun visor, and I'm going through the thing trying to find out what I'm supposed to say. And I tell them, and it's like I reach down and turn on the blue lights, and it just keeps going. And I'm thinking, never dawned on me they wouldn't stop. So we go down the road, and it winds up being a stolen truck. And they decide instead of stopping, they'll open both doors and jump out while it's running and leave the truck going, and they ran. So I don't even know which way home is by now. And I think, what do I do with these people? So I thought I better get the truck stopped. So I got the truck. The good news is later that day we caught both of them. They stole the truck from Henry County and we put them in jail, and they've been doing a lot of burglaries. So things has changed a lot since I've been here. I stayed on the road for 11 and a half months. And then they decided that I was probably going to make it, so they sent me to the police academy. So for 11 and a half months, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. And then they sent you to school, and I'm sitting there in school thinking, this would have been nice about 12 months ago. It's kind of like we'll give you your college assignment test to get out, and then we'll send you through college. Thankfully, we don't do that anymore. If we hire you now, we'll send you to police academy. It's about 12 weeks you'll go to it, and when you come back, we have 2 different phases of field training, which we will put you with a qualified officer, and you will ride with them for 6 weeks. If you pass that phase, we'll put you with another officer, and you'll ride another 6 weeks. We put you in every department we've got, so you kind of know what's going on. So by the time we put you in a patrol car by yourself, you kind of have an idea of what's going on, other than go find yourself way around the county. Telling about change, I don't know how many, and I wish I could get a count. Does anybody have any idea how many red lights are in this county now? Neither do I. I can tell you that the day I started wearing this uniform, how many there was in this county. And it was at the courthouse in Dallas, and our joke was it only changed colors on Sundays, and everybody drive up after church and watch the light change. I tell everybody there's like 3 drugstores in the whole county. Now there's 3 on every corner. So this county has changed a lot. Our population went from, like, when I started, it was like 38,000 people, and I think our last census has got us somewhere around 145,000. When I went on patrol, there was a supervisor and 2 deputies per shift. So I worked one end of the county, the other deputy worked the other end of the county, and the supervisor stayed hid all the time. Now we've got 10 people working each day shift, and our shifts are, we work 12-hour shifts. Our shifts are 12 hours. They come in at 5:30 in the morning until 5:30 in the evening. We have 10 people on that. Then we have 6 people that comes in at lunch and works till midnight. And then we have 14 that comes in at 5:30 in the evening and works till 5:30 in the morning. It used to be that night shift was always a lot busier than day shift. That don't seem to be the case anymore. Day shift usually gets pretty hopping in the morning, and then has a little lull around lunchtime, and then from about 2 o'clock on, we stay wide open. Anybody that's got scanners, you can kind of keep those numbers in your head and start paying attention to how many calls we get. If you hear them say we're code 5, that means they got a call. We don't have an available deputy to send to. You'll find out we stay pretty busy. We usually answer somewhere in the neighborhood of about 60,000 complaints a year. Keeps us hopping. Burglaries right now are probably one of our biggest things we got going on. And when I say burglaries, I'm linking them all together, which is the thefts, the copper thefts, the air conditioner thefts, breaking into your house, breaking into your cars when you're not home. I don't know why this don't seem to sink in. We have a lot of teenagers that's going into neighborhoods at night. We've caught them in rollerblades. We've caught them on the little scooters. They make no noise. They get on the little scooter. They go door to door. They go driveway to driveway. They pop the door handles on your car. If it opens, they take your stuff. Help us out. Take your stuff inside or lock your cars. They don't want to make any noise. You know, if I pop your door and it don't open, why should I bust out the window? I can go to the next driveway where the car's open. It never seems to amaze me. Every morning I come in, computers, billfolds, pocketbooks, GPS. I understand the GPS. It ain't something you want to take in and out. Guns. I mean, it's every day. If you have valuables in your car, put them in your trunk, take them in your house, or at least lock your doors. We have a juvenile division. We have a guy that's very, very good, and he stays in touch with these kids. And as you know, if y'all got kids like to brag. So they usually brag about doing this, and we usually wind up putting them in jail. But it don't change the fact that you've lost your stuff, and then we find some, we get it back to you. Most of the time it's at a pawn shop or it's traded to Joe Bob trades it to Billy Bob, and Billy Bob gives it to Fred. And, I mean, by the time it goes around, you can't find it. I was telling you, we had a supervisor and 2 deputies. I told you how many we had. I have about 280 total employees. A lot to keep up with. I was telling somebody, I said, when I got elected sheriff, we was all wearing gray BDUs, like the military. I thought we looked awful. So I said, the number one thing I want to do is make us look professional. In order to be professional, you got to look professional. So I said, I want to put us back in uniforms. If I see me run through, or you see me run through your backyard, it's like, what's the cops doing here? If I run through the BDUs, you're like, who's this fool? So at least you know who we are when we show up. It took about 8 months to change uniforms. Nothing happens in a hurry. We have a jail that was built in 1990. It held 200 prisoners. It was supposedly built to last for 10 years. Well, 2000 was 10 years, and now we're in 2011, which is 11 years later, so we have an overcrowded jail that we've added beds to it 3 times. We have 310 beds in our jail. It stays full all the time. We're always continuously trying to find ways to get people out of our jail so the feds won't come in and build us a new jail. A lot of people move here from different agencies. They don't understand how we operate. Anybody here come from Cobb? Cobb Sheriff's Office is a good example. I'm not picking on them. Cobb Sheriff's Office is not like us. We're a full-service sheriff's office, which means we don't have a county police department. We do have two cities inside our jurisdiction, which is Hiram and Dallas. They both have police departments, which handles the calls inside their jurisdiction. Cobb has Cobb PD, so they handle all the calls out in the county. The sheriff's office in Paulding handles all the calls. We do traffic stops. I mean, I've stopped people before from Cobb, and they're like, "You can't stop me, you're a sheriff." Well, welcome to Paulding County. I can't stop you. But they're used to Cobb County Sheriff's Office. They work the courts, the jail, and serve warrants and civil papers. They don't answer calls, and they don't stop cars. Well, you're in Paulding County, we do it all. So we don't have a county PD here, and I'm going to get on my soapbox and tell you, I don't want one. The simple version is I don't like county PDs. If you're from Cobb, if you get a ticket in Paulding County from the Paulding County Sheriff's Deputy, who are you going to call if you've got a problem? Me? I'm elected. You put me here. If you don't want me here anymore, you can remove me. If you have a problem with Cobb PD, who are you going to call? I don't know the answer to that either. They work for the Commissioner's Office. I say they're a revenue-generating bunch. And I'm not just saying Cobb, I'm just saying county PDs. I don't like it. I'm here because the people elected me to be here. I'm answerable to you. I'm easy to find. I work every day. I hear sometimes people say, I've tried to get a hold to you. And I say, I work every day. You know, call the office. People walk into my office every day. I don't refuse to see anybody. Although after I've seen a few, I wish I had refused to see them. Some people comes into your office and you're like, why are we having this conversation? I didn't know when I ran for sheriff that I was going to be a preacher, a teacher, a child psychologist, a marriage counselor. People come into the office and when they leave, you're sitting there going, what was this about? I guess people watch Andy Griffith and Andy and Barney talk to everybody about all their problems. I had a guy call me the other day and he says, I live in Mississippi and somebody give me your number. I'm looking to buy a house out there and I need to get a lot of work done on it. And they told me that you know everybody, so I need you to tell me who I can get for a roofer and a plumber and an electrician. And I'm thinking, hello? I have nothing else to do, so if you need your grass cut, call me. I guess I'll come out and do that. I was talking to this lady and she don't know. I know our other sheriff, I think a world of them, I worked for him for years, was Bruce Harris. Had a little thing for the news media to come out here and try to make him look awful. I was explaining to her, you know, they took video of him cutting his grass about 2 o'clock in the daytime. Says he's home on duty cutting his grass. So I was at a restaurant not long after I got elected, and a lady come by, and it's kind of funny, they always want to talk to you while you're eating. She said, well, I'm at least glad to see that you're out working instead of home cutting your grass. And I'm thinking, I like this one. I said, well, since you brought it up, ma'am, I said, may I ask you a question? She said, sure. I said, would you have a problem if I slept while I was on duty? She said, of course not. You can't do that. I said, thank you. I said, would it be okay if I had sex while I'm on duty? She said, well, of course not. That's awful. I said, well, thank you, ma'am. I said, you just sentenced me to 4 years with no sleep and no sex. And she looked at me, she said, what are you talking about? I said, ma'am, I'm the sheriff. I can't be off duty. It don't happen. It can't happen. It's not going to happen. I said, when you elected me for 4 years, I'm on the clock. She said, I didn't know that. I said, I know you did. I said, now you do. I said, so when I go to sleep, you're paying me. I said, but you're also paying me when the phone rings and I get up and go back to work. She said, you mean you can't go on vacation? I said, oh, ma'am, I can go on vacation, but when something bad happens, your vacation's over. You leave and come back home. So, kind of a little bit about sheriffs. We're on call 24/7, 365 for the 4 years we're in office. It's going to go somewhere, but I'm going to skip it. I don't know that, I hear a lot of people say that they see our cars out a lot. I started as soon as I got here, I'm a cop. I mean, you're not going to go do something that I ain't already done or know how it works. That's why they hate you being the boss. You know, I know where they hide. I know what's going on. I said, look, don't go hide and do your reports. Go park out in the public and do your reports. I want you to be seen. So far, I've got for the 2011 through September, we patrolled already over like 2 million miles. So we put a lot of miles on cars. We keep the roads hot. When we're not answering calls, we're basically writing subdivisions, writing streets, checking businesses. A lot of times at night after the businesses are closed, our guys we've got the county broke up into beats. So we'll have a person assigned and they're responsible for what goes on in their beat. So they know all the stores, they know when they close, they try to get back closing time. Basically, we're here to help y'all. Our old sheriff, which I always had an argument with him, he was real closed office. Just don't tell anybody anything. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing Bruce Harris. I think the world of him. He was a great guy. He brought us out of the dark ages. Like I said, we went from what I was telling you that I started with another sheriff to what we are now, and Bruce Harris was a big instigator in how we got here. I better get him off the mic. Do what?
Closed office.
Yeah. We had pretty much a closed office. We wouldn't tell you anything. And I thought, that's not right. If I don't tell you what we do, you think we do nothing. So I thought, let's tell people what we're doing. So as I got in, I got me a PIO. As you can tell from talking, I'm not a spokesman. I don't look good. I got a country accent. I can't get rid of it. So I said, I need me a PIO to deal with the news media. The problem I got with the news media is, not you. When something bad happens, they will drive you absolutely batty. 2, 5, and 11 will have 7 or 8 people in their office, and they will take turns calling you, wanting to know what's going on. So you're on a crime scene trying to work a murder or something, and it's like, hello, you can't even work. So I have a PIO. I don't talk to the news media. I said, they call me and they start harping. I said, do you not have my PIO's phone number? And we get out there on the scene. I can actually do my job. And my PIO's over there going, hello, okay? So you've got to have it. But if you don't tell the people what you're doing, they think you do nothing. We started a Facebook page, and everybody said I was crazy for that. You can't really do a lot of talking on our Facebook page because people get on there and say, Sheriff's Office things, y'all ain't worth a flick, you bunch of lazy slugs. We don't allow people to do that because we have to monitor. We post a lot on our Facebook page. You go on the page, you like it, you'll get our updates, we'll tell you what's going on, what we're doing. You can, once we put something on there, you can make comments on what we're doing. If you get vulnerable, we'll delete you. We got control of it. Some people are not nice. We don't have a problem with you arguing with us. We don't have a problem with you disagreeing with us. But if you get nasty, we will delete you. I wish we had a delete button for life, but we don't have it. I wish we had a delete button at the jail, but we don't have one there either. We also do a thing called Nixle. I don't know if you have it or not. It's nixle.com. The bad part about it is it's free. It don't cost you anything. The part I don't like about the news media, if we have problems here and we need their help, they will help you when it benefits them. If we have a lost kid at 1 o'clock in the morning, you're not going to hear about it on the news until 6 o'clock the next morning or lunch the next day. That does us absolutely no good. So we got Nixle. Basically, it pings it to your cell phone or to your computer, which most people are like me. Your phone's linked to your computer, so it's both. We get on it, we can do it in our time, usually within minutes. We can put out lookouts. If you have an elderly parent that lives in the county who you worry about like I do mine, you can also ping their address. My mother lives over on Dallas-Atworth Highway. If something bad's going on around her house, when you ping it, you do like a circle around it. If we're looking for somebody down at the Douglas County line, it don't really affect my mom, so she don't really care what's going on down there. When we set up the Nixle alert, we put it in a mileage radius, so she don't even know about what we're doing at the other end of the county because she don't care. But if something's going on in close proximity to her house when we do the mileage radius, it sends her an alert of what we're doing. And it may be as simple as we had a car chase, the driver jumped out and ran on foot. We're looking for a white male with a white t-shirt, blue jeans, and tennis shoes. He'll be scratched up and bloody and dirty and sweaty. Keep your eyes open. If you're in the neighborhood, pay attention to what's going on. We've got a lot of help from it. We've had lost kids in the woods. They get Nixle alerts. We have a lot of people comes out and volunteers to help us. When you got a lost kid, we'll take all the help we can get. If it was your kid lost, you want everybody there too. Nixle's been a great thing for us. I think you'll agree with me. We're a little easier to work with than we used to be. Paulding.com, which is who Lori's with, used to absolutely drive us crazy. Not the people that owns it, the people that's owned it. because they would get on there and they'd say, I seen a Paulding County Sheriff's deputy down at blah, blah, blah with so-and-so female, and they was in the back seat doing things they shouldn't have been doing. Well, our old sheriff was yelling, don't tell them anything. It ain't true. Nope, we're not getting involved in that. I said, now that I'm the sheriff, we're going to get involved in it. If you'll notice, I don't know how many of y'all follow Paulding.com, they'll get on there, and some of those people are not real nice. And they will start fictitious things on there just to get everybody into the Jerry Springer routine. I get Brandon Gurley, who gets on there, he tells me, this is what's going on, this is what we're doing, and this is the facts. And 99% of the time, it dies immediately. There may be one or two replies after we answer it with the truth, and then it goes away. I'm thinking, why haven't we been doing this the whole time? Because used to it went on for page after page. If somebody says something about you and you don't say, that ain't true, they start believing it after a while. So I try to have a lot of interaction with the media.
And we don't want the misinformation on there, and y'all have been good to help us with that.
Yep.
Paulding.com is very appreciative.
Y'all are very good to work with. Once we tell them the facts, they post the facts, and it goes away. It's not a problem anymore. So we move on to the next time. I know I'm going to run y'all out of time. Does anybody have anything that you'd like to ask for?
With the budget, and you're talking about the mileage on the cars, and you have to extend the age of the cars out, and how much?
What we do with our cars is, all the newer cars we get, we're buying them all with the SPLOST money. All of our new patrol cars, of course, all the cars we buy that's new, their first duty is they go to patrol, because that's the people that drives them the fastest and needs the safest cars. So all of our patrol cars are bought with SPLOST money. When patrol's finished with them, usually it's according to the car and how it's aged and what's happened to it in its lifespan. It will get handed off, it will get the blue lights took off of it, the stickers took off of it, then it will be assigned to a detective. We have a lot of detectives driving cars with 300,000 miles on them. When they get to where it's not feasible to fix them anymore, we auction them off. Basically, they're completely wore out. Our K9 guys, I don't know if y'all paying attention around, I got them driving Tahoes. Of course, I originally started off in K9. A Crown Vic gets real crowded in a hurry with you, a cage in the back with a dog in it, and all the equipment you got to have for a dog, so we put them in Tahoes. Took a little bit of slack about that. I said, I'll take it, I'm a big boy, I can handle it. We're paying about $2,100 more for a Tahoe than we are for the Crown Vic. They get about the same fuel mileage. And I told them, I said, the resale value on the Tahoe when we get done with it will be more than the $2,000. Crown Vics are bringing $600 to $700 a piece when we're through. So you see the Tahoes out there, the SUVs, they're better for the dogs, they're better for the officers, they got more leg room. I'm 6'2", driving a car, once they put a dog cage in it, the seat won't go all the way back. The seat won't lean back at all, so you can drive like this all day. The little shorter guys, it don't bother a whole lot. Bought 2 new Chevrolets. Everybody's like, why are you doing that? It ain't me. Ford has decided to quit making them. I don't know why. Y'all are all in business. If we're in business together, we have about 80% of the market covered, and you come to me and say, we're not going to do this anymore. I'm going to fire you or buy you out. Ford has decided they're not going to make police vehicles anymore. They're going to change and start making front-wheel drive cars. No cop likes front-wheel drive cars because you don't drive them, they drive you. So we're changing, we're looking at Chevrolets now, about 2. We got one out on the road about 2 weeks ago. They wrecked it this week. It happens, you know, the guy's like, Sheriff, I'm so sorry, I wrecked your brand new car. I said, it's the price of doing business. Got in a chase with a bunch of burglars who were here from Florida. I guess they're driving through there and out of money and decided we'll go steal some stuff. And of course, they ran. We got them stopped and got them in jail anyway. The budget is, I told Bruce Harris, I said, you really knew when to leave town. It's been cut ever since I walked in the door. I don't see it getting any better. You know, I have cut manpower. We furloughed for 2 years. And I told him, I said, I can't furlough anymore. I said, my guys are dying. The part that really makes me mad is my next fight. I don't know if anybody has any idea. If I hire you today to make you a cop, bring you in the office and swear you in, you go to school, you're going to make $13.59 an hour, $29,000 a year. If you have a wife and a kid at home, you almost qualify for food stamps. I think it's a joke. I don't know what the fix for it is. I don't control the money. I don't know who set this up. The commissioners tell me what I can get. They approve my budget. Once it's approved, it's mine. So there's fixing to be a fight about our pay. I know the economy's bad. I know the timing's bad. I got guys that's working for me who risk their life every day. Short answer, they're starving to death, and I don't think it's right. And I told the commissioners, I think the public will back me, and from the looks I see on some of y'all's faces, I still believe I'm right. I think they'll back me and play for my guys. I'm not looking to make me rich. You're not going to get rich in this line of business. I just want them to be able to support their families. You know, I tell everybody that it's kind of funny. Everybody wants my job when I'm eating lunch while I'm getting paid for it. But when we start getting shot at, nobody is out there going, hey, I want your job, that's cool. So, that answers your question for you? Yes, ma'am.
Are you seeing a drug problem here? Meth?
When I first started in K9 in 94, drugs are like everything else, they go through cycles. When I first started here, it was marijuana was everywhere, and that was about all we had to deal with. Then it changed into cocaine. Then it changed from cocaine to crack cocaine. And then it changed from crack cocaine to methamphetamine. Like I said, I've been here all my life. I knew everybody. I locked up a guy one time. I said, why are you messing with this meth? He said, I don't want to mess with meth. He said, I want to smoke marijuana, but you can't get it no more. So methamphetamine, like the drug, is crazy. I told him when I was running for sheriff, you can't put everybody in jail and fix a meth problem. The only way you can fix the meth problem, to me, and I may be completely wrong, is by education. I'm starting to see that it's working some now because people see what it's doing to them. They look at their families. Probably everybody in this room has somebody in their family that's been touched with methamphetamine. It turns you into an animal. It turns you into something you're not. It completely ruins your life. I've known several people who had very lucrative business, great families, who give up their wife, their children, their house, their career, lost their jobs, all over drugs. So I'm starting to see that the education is helping some. Now probably the biggest problem, I don't know about in the cities, I don't believe I'll be far from wrong. The biggest problem we're seeing now is prescription drugs. Everybody thinks that my doctor gave me these somas, it's okay if I take 5 of them, it drives it mom. Well, it's not, read the bottle. But we're having a very big problem with prescription pills. I've tried every which way I know to go. Everybody with initials I've talked to from the FBI on down, as long as these people are going and seeing a medical doctor, and they're telling them they have a medical problem, and the doctor sees them, they can prescribe them medication, and there's no laws against it. So most of these doctors, and they're everywhere, we call them pill shops, and they're doctor shopping. They go from place to place to place. Oh, my back's killing me, doc. Okay, we're going to give you somas and Xanax and Oxycontin, and come back in 30 days and pay me my doctor's visit, and we'll give you a refill. But as long as they're sealed, it's all legal. Usually what they do is they get 2 or 3 prescriptions for pain pills. They take half of them and sell the other. Do you have a question, ma'am?
Yes. Is there a possibility of, or have you guys ever considered doing
Treatment for narcotics?
Yes.
The only thing we have in the jail right now that we're doing is one of the churches is sponsoring a program. It's called Celebrate Recovery. It's easy to get more programs in the jail than you can keep up with. And that's what happened when I came into office. And it was more religious than anything. I'm not ashamed of it at all. I'm a Christian. I'm saved. I love God. I believe in it. I don't have a problem at all with it. On Sundays, we was running a church instead of a jail. They like to drove us crazy. So I went in and cut out a lot of the stuff that we was doing. The only program we got there is to Celebrate Recovery. The reason I kept it come out of Pleasant Hill Church down here in Hiram, is I went to the church. And I went in, not in uniform, and I went in and just sat down real quietly. I want to see if this program actually works. I was born and raised here, so I know all these people. And I'm looking around and I'm thinking, I know what they're doing. They're coming, they're sneaking in, they're sitting on the back row. It's like, I'm attending service, because they say I got to, and I know I can't graduate this program. These people are scattered throughout the church, and they're not only sitting there, they're participating in the services. It's changing their lives. But that's about the only program we're running there that I've seen any results come from. And like I said, I know most of these people, so I know the changes it's made and where they was and what they are now. Went over I guess it was last winter, they had a Thanksgiving or a wild game supper over there. And I walked in and this guy, I've known him all my life, we put him in jail for murder. He done a life sentence and he's out. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh my God, not this. And he walked up and he said, I want to thank you for the Celebrate Recovery program. He said, it's changed my life. He said, God's in my heart now. He said, I have no problems. And I thought, yeah, show me. I don't want to hear about it. And I've actually watched him, and we've had absolutely zero issues with him in the year he's been out, just from this program and getting his head right. Yes, ma'am.
I know that we had a murder last night over on Harris Bridge. When I started inquiring about it, of course, it was drug-based. And what I'm hearing, are there places in the county or in the city, as this happens, that have really become drug hotspots, where the activity's really high, it's apparent that it's constant? How are y'all going to, or how do y'all want even the citizens to address these hotspots when they see them?
Complain. Call us and tell us what's going on. We have a drug task force. I know the city's handle things different. We had what she's talking about happened in the city of Dallas last night. They arrested somebody for it, and that's what, when I was talking to them, they told me, I said, this is one of our normal places where the dopers hang out. Apartment complex, cheap living, no tries.
19 years old.
19 years old. It's the biggest thing we got. If you have problems, that's what I said. When you start seeing things that's not normal, call and complain. If you don't complain, we may not even know what's going on. So if you started seeing strange activity or a lot of vehicles, you'll call the office. We'll give you a number of the drug task force. We have people, and I hear it all the time. It's like, well, I called them, but they never showed up. I said, it's the drug task force. They show up in blue jeans and t-shirts, bandanas tied around their head. They don't drive more. Well, I want a patrol car here. Well, you can't work under narcotics driving a patrol car wearing this uniform. And I get the same thing every day. People are calling, well, I don't want to talk to them. I want to deal with you. I said, well, I'm the sheriff. I don't work undercover narcotics. Everybody knows who I am. I can change my voice, but I can't change my face. Yes, ma'am.
I lead Celebrate Recovery at Pleasant Grove on Thursday night, so if anybody has any questions about that program, let me know. I'll give you the information.
I can tell you one thing about it.
It's awesome.
It's working.
Oh, yeah. These people's lives change every day.
I got in hot water when I started cutting church services out. But it was, we couldn't even run our jail.
There's a Celebrate Recovery program every night of the week in Paulding County. So, and that's new, so.
The good thing about it, I don't know the entire stage of it. All I can tell you is it works. I see it myself.
Yeah.
And it's not something somebody showed me on paper. It's the people I look in their eyes and talk to. I know it's working. Anything else? I apologize to y'all. I know I'm not a speaker. Try to go both ways. Everybody asked me, so what are you going to talk about? I said, I won't know till I get up there and turn around. I don't have a teleprompter. It probably wouldn't help me if I did. I hate putting stuff on paper because I feel like I'm reading to a classroom of kids. I apologize for the way I am. It's just the way I am. So I know I'm not a good speaker and I'm boring. Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to ask a little bit about the school systems and why we're having so many kids from the school system and the court system and being able to do those types of things. What are we doing, proactively in the school to keep kids out of trouble?
The only thing that we've got in the schools is we call them school resource officers. We had one in every high school, and then we got one assigned to every middle school. They're paid for by the school board. Done real well till the economy went into dumps, and then the school board said, this is, we're cutting teachers, so we're going to cut resource officers. So now I have 2 resource officers that's assigned to all the middle schools, and they just rotate around. To give you a short answer, we stay so busy in the schools, we don't have time for doing anything other than dealing with the problems. My professional opinion is, y'all may not like me for this, if mamas and daddies go back to tearing up them butts, they never had to call the police to my house, I can tell you that. And most people, I know there's people on both sides of that sword, and I hear it all the time, well, I can't spank my kid. I said, oh, yes, you can. I hope there's no defense worker here because how are we going to fight? Defense says you can't whoop your kid. Defense can't lock you up. We do. Defense don't have a rest stop. Yes, ma'am.
So you're saying when the officers get there, you told us that it's okay, so we don't go jail, right?
You can discipline, you can spank, you cannot beat your kid. I'll go back to one I done. I went on a call over here off of Christie Circle. I pulled in, and I was back when I was on patrol. And I'm like, used to they didn't tell us anything. You just win. You walk up and say, hey, what's going on? Well, my 8-year-old son won't get on the school bus. And I said, your what? My 8-year-old son won't get on the school bus. I said, you ain't got no belt? And the boy standing there looking at me like, you can't tell him that. And I said, if you take that belt and apply it back on the backside of them breeches, he'll go get on the bus. And he's like, I can't whoop him. I said, why can't you? Well, he said he called defects. I said, you want your number, boy? He said, you mean I can whoop him? I said, I guarantee you I'll make a great witness in court. Go get you a belt. I've never been back to that house because the kid wouldn't get on the school bus. I think it's our fault. Go to the theater. Watch how many parents pull up and stop and drop. You don't know what your kid's doing in there? I've got a 15-year-old daughter. Mine may go crazy as a Bessie bug today. We don't drop her nowhere. She don't go nowhere if I don't know you. If your daughter calls and says, my daughter's coming to your house and I don't know you, she ain't coming. It's our job to raise our kids. It's not the government's job. I'm going to get on the soapbox now. I'm going to shut up. But there's nothing wrong with making your kids mad. I got a 15-year-old. She minds. If she don't, I got no problem. I told her teachers, I said, she gives you any trouble, don't argue with her. You call me, here's my cell phone number. I said, I whoop her fanny standing right here in the classroom. But parents don't care anymore. And I don't mean that by everybody. But here's $50, leave me alone. How many of y'all have conversations with your kids? If you don't talk to your kids, you should be. If you ain't nosing through their room, you should be. If you don't dig through their book bags, you should be. If you don't know who their friends are and you're not intercepting their text messages, you should be. Because you know what these kids are doing? The same thing you and I done when we was their age.
You got to be a parent first and a friend second.
I don't need to be like you.
Switched around.
I told my daughter with no uncertain terms, I said, you got a whole school full of friends. That ain't my job. And I coach boy-girl softball, so I talk to a lot of these kids. And I tell parents, you're not their friend. It's nice to get along with them, but there's going to come a time, especially when they get teenagers, they ain't going to hate you if you're doing your job. But my daughter, you don't think I'll pick up her phone? You better be reading them, because they'll tell you, they're going to talk about it. Kids can't talk on the phone anymore. I know most of y'all, some of y'all here's my age, used to be a fight in our house over who's going to talk on the phone. They don't talk anymore. I tell my daughter, I said, call so-and-so and find out what her mama did. She won't answer her phone. I said, do what I told you to do, call her. She didn't answer. I said, we need to find out. She goes, bing. They said, people don't talk anymore. We also have a thing, if you have teenage drivers, something I'm going to throw out here. Deborah Anderson, our probate judge, I'm trying to remember the name, but I lost my mind. I'm like that guy on TV, once he got famous for not being able to know anything, I started forgetting everything. We've started a driver program. I wouldn't take my daughter to it because I wanted to first watch the complete thing. They film little segments with her, they film segments with me, and it's about driving. It's about texting and driving. It's about not wearing seatbelts and driving. We're going to introduce it and put it in all the high schools once a year. She's our probate judge. She does all our traffic courts. Most of these teenagers that come in her court, she's sentencing them to attend this class. It's a great thing. If you're texting while you're driving, and I'm as guilty as the next person is, there's nothing going on your phone or in your business that's worth you dying for. Pull over and stop. I done it when I got this phone. I'm going home, and I promise you my phone's probably as busy as anybody's in this community. I'm going home, and I'm like, and I get home, and I'm thinking, was any of those red lights red or green? You think about while you're driving, and I guarantee you if I asked them, they would be honest, most of y'all texted on your way here. It's a good way to die. You don't pay attention, and the bad part is, if you don't hurt yourself, you're going to hurt somebody else, and you got to live with it. So that's my PSA is, don't text and drive. And if you don't wear your seatbelt, I'm not going to write you a ticket. If you want to stick your head through your windshield's your head's your business. But make sure your kids wear seatbelts. In that little class we're doing, there's even one where 3 girls and a guy was in the car, and 3 girls was wearing seatbelts because girls always mind better than we do without 4. They got in a bad car wreck. The guy who was not buckled up became a projectile. So if you're riding with somebody, you're wearing your seatbelt and they're not, make them wear their seatbelt too. So, yes, ma'am.
Last question, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Shoplifters. What is
I do DUI and prevention stuff with some of the other things. So, for the shoplifters, is there a program or anything that they're required to do or that can support?
If there's anything for them, I don't know of it. Of course, I don't stay in court all the time as much as I should. I don't know that I've ever heard of putting shoplifters in any kind of thing. The biggest thing I've seen with most shoplifters, most of them have the money to pay for what they're stealing. It's like a weird thing going on up in here. It's a thrill, I guess. And that's my guess. But most people we deal with, like I said, Hiram's got a Walmart and we got a Walmart. We stay busy with Walmart. They put a lot of people in jail for shoplifting. But I don't know of any programs here for them. I don't know if there's any treatment for them. That gets into psychology. As you can tell, I'm country dumb. My psychology went behind the barns. I don't know anything about a lot of this stuff. Anything else? I appreciate y'all's lunch. Mother's Finest done a great job catering as they usually do. I work 7 days a week. If you want me, you'll call the office. If I'm not there, I'll answer the phone. If I'm not, if you'll leave your message, I assure you I will call you back. If somebody tells you they left me a message, I didn't call them back, they're lying to you. If my secretary gets the message, I will call you back. Like I said, if you live in the neighborhoods, what's going on? Help us. You know what's normal on both sides of your house. I don't have a clue. So if you see something that's not right, I may ride through and see a burglar standing there in the yard. I don't know if he lives there or you don't. You do. So if you see something that's not right, pick up the phone and call us. Don't ever be afraid to call. Thank y'all for your time.
Thank you, Sheriff Gulledge. That's a tough act to follow. Wow. Just one little piece of information. On your tables, the Hiram Police Department have left a letter, and we will be putting this on the website about holiday shopping season coming up, a crime prevention program. So if you want to go ahead and take what's on the table, it will also be on the website. November 22nd at 2 o'clock at the Hiram Police Department on the second floor training room. They are going to give us some tips about business owners, employees, and customers on how to just be prepared for the holiday season. And with that said, it's time for our drawing.